like 1 rep maxes. We would definitely introduce like super speed sticks, just because those things are, I mean, you're having to swing it a ton of times. It's like, 40 swings as fast as you can. And then just your typical like sprinting and things like that, but I would say as long as your body is kind of performing well, and you're working at a high intensity level, you should be good. You should be good. We might introduce some things as far as like if it's in season versus, out of season, where maybe you're doing some like cross training as far as like, I like a lot of swimming for a lot of my clients, just because it's low impact on your joints. It's not, repetitive motion, and it's a little bit different, especially more so of, in swimming, you kind of mentally, you're just in a different place than you are anywhere else. Typically when I have clients who are on like Peloton or any kind of bike, it puts them in this kind of crunch position, and their hips get kind of locked in place. And so I would say, bikes are good, but not for long periods of time. If you're going to do sprinting on a bike, or just kind of really fast, high intensity interval training, that's okay. But I probably wouldn't prefer, I would say don't spend more than 10 minutes on a bike warming up or doing your cardio that way. If you are going to do something, speed sticks, swimming's great. I would say something that's kind of low impact on your body. And then just work out at a high intensity level. And then the more consistent you get with those, the more, conditioned you're going to be.
That's good, Jonathan, because one of my favorite things to do is to swim. So that's really
good. It's great.
Yeah, it's good. So any last minute questions for Jonathan tonight, y'all? And then I'm gonna have Jonathan give you his contact information. He's based out of Charlotte, North Carolina, but he'll give you all the details on how to reach him and everything. Any other questions for Jonathan?
I have one more question.
Go ahead, Kendall.
What's up, Kendall?
Key tips for dieting.
Yeah, dieting. I would say key tips for dieting would be probably more so of, normally what I tell people is slow down whenever you do eat. Be a little bit more mindful. And that sounds kind of odd, but I would say a lot of times we're just on the go, in a hurry, so often, that you're just kind of putting, a lot of times I'll see some clients end up kind of, you're not really sure what all you ate. There's times where I eat and I'm kind of like, man, where was that last, protein bar? And I've already gone through it and I just wasn't even aware. So I would say slow down. You have this window of opportunity where it's basically in 15 minutes, your brain tells your body whether you're full or not. A lot of times we override that because we eat within 10 minutes. And so a lot of times most people end up kind of overeating. So if there is one thing I would say is eat till you're 80% full, which means kind of slow down, take your time, be more mindful. I would say eat more unprocessed foods. So you want kind of more whole foods. And then I would say hydration is going to be the number one thing for you, so stay hydrated. You want usually to drink about half your weight in ounces. So if you're 100 pounds, you want 50 ounces of water. And then for every hour of exercise or of golf, you want to have another liter of water. And water and hydration is once you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. And the first sign of dehydration, you've lost 10% power, 10% of your speed, 10% of your strength, and 10% of your recovery. Wow. So one of the easiest things to, perform high is to make sure that you're hydrated. And then I would say, as long as you're eating whole foods and you're slowing down, to me, and you're being mindful, I would say that's going to be a good nutrition. They always say, preparation is good nutrition, right? If I'm prepared, if I kind of planned ahead of time, if I kind of know what I'm going to eat before the day, instead of having the day happen and me just kind of reacting towards it, it's probably not going to lead to the best diet, unless I'm kind of given some good things, unless things kind of happen for me. So I would say as long as you kind of prepare in advance for, what's going to come up that day, kind of knowing your schedule, and kind of preparing around that, and then slowing down, trying to eat food that's, that's more whole food than processed foods, and just staying hydrated. I would say those would be, if you want to keep it simple, I would say that's going to be the simplest thing you can do to kind of, fuel your body.
Very good tips, Jonathan. Appreciate that. So, Jonathan,
yeah,
the podcast has been great tonight. Talk to us a little bit about how everybody can get in touch with you. Of course, you're based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. We can, tell us how we can reach you on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just let us know how to keep up with you.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram. You can find me at Athletic Golf Fitness. And then on Facebook as well. So Athletic Golf Fitness. So I'm more so on Instagram than I am on any other channel. But I post a lot on Facebook though too. And I need to get better on Twitter. I just don't. I'm just not on it as much.
Yeah, Twitter is a different animal. You know. All right. Can everybody hear me? All right, Jonathan, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I lost you for a second. I apologize about that.
No, I think that was me, Jonathan. I think that was my end. So and yeah, that was the one way that I found you on Facebook, following your athletic page. And Jonathan, most of our juniors and parents are across the country. Do you do any type of virtual presentation? You do any type of virtual training at all?
Yeah. I actually, as of late, probably in the last, especially over like COVID,
yeah.
I transitioned more towards online training. And so I got one guy he was a professional soccer player. Now he's a professional golfer, who was out of Hong Kong, and he lives in France now, which is, I don't know how you can be a pro at two sports like that. It's crazy. But I got guys from all over really. And so I've been more just trying to get more online stuff going. And, what I found is that, I pretty much get the same kind of results. It's more of, I would say it's more of having a plan and getting some direction and kind of knowing what you're supposed to do. And then we touch base and just kind of make sure that, holding you accountable, making sure you are, where you're at in the program is where you should be, and just kind of trying to get some metrics and say, okay, well, based on this now, let's progress and make it a little bit harder, or maybe it's a little too hard. And then, a lot of it's more of just communicating and just kind of making sure that you're on plan, and you're on the right track.
Good. Well, listen, Jonathan, thank you so much for being our guest tonight. I think the parents and the juniors have thoroughly enjoyed you. I think you are our first golf fitness expert to come on.
Oh, well, cool. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much, and man, you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll be in contact so I can get John up to your facility. Okay.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I look forward to it.
All right, thank you so much. Have a good night.
You too. Appreciate it.
Okay, bye-bye.